This was an absolute masterclass by the Toronto Raptors. Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, whoever was out there on the court at the end of this game, a masterclass, a generational ethical tank performance by everyone involved for this Toronto Raptors team. Whether it's bad shots there, because the Raptors built up a solid lead. With Jakob Poeltl out there in the lineup, this team was absolutely squashing the Chicago Bulls, who openly are a horrible basketball team. They are a bad team to watch. They are an ugly, ugly team to have your eye on out there on the basketball court. But the Toronto Raptors, despite squashing them for most of this game, provided just everything you could ask for if you are in hopes of this team capturing the flag. Again, it looked a little bit sketchy there. It looked a little bit tough for moments, but you can see the Toronto Raptors made it their mission. They made it their quest to capture that flag, did their best to help improve their odds in the lottery tonight, and it was just a masterclass. So we'll walk through this game, walk through what happened, some of the positives, but maybe some of the things are a little bit concerning too, because he still did lose. But frankly, this game was an absolute it was mind-blowing to watch. If we were fully invested, if we were in this game, hoping for these wins every single night in, night out, then this might be the most hair-pulling, aggravating loss. But since we're all comfortable with the losses here now at this point, trying to maximize the chances of getting a top star in this NBA draft, this was just a masterclass. That's the only way to put it. So let's dive into it, because the Raptors lost this game to the Chicago Bulls 115 to 125. Lost in overtime, but the Raptors, with 10 minutes left in this game, this team was up by 60 points. 10 minutes left against the Chicago Bulls. Can the Chicago Bulls even score 16 points in court? That's something to look at, right? Like, the Raptors had this one in the bag. And then weird shots getting taken. Scottie Barnes settling for some faders. Jakob Poeltl on a minutes restriction with his current injury right now, so he did not get thrown back into the game. There was a lot of stuff at play out there in the fourth quarter, but it started with Immanuel Quickley, who had a solid performance in this one. And I don't want to, I'm not here bagging on any of the guys out here in this performance, because this is an ethical take. This is by design. This is the approach. But Immanuel Quickley in this one, 23 points, was a +9 in the game as well. He did foul out in overtime, but 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 of 11 from the 3-point line, 6 of 16. Could get more efficient, but really what solidified this team was, firstly, Immanuel Quickley was out there for a possession that would have sealed the deal, completely wide open, naked, not a man within 45 feet of Immanuel Quickley, and just sells a 3-point shot there at the end. I was like, okay, this one's over. It's one of those 3-point shots that even at a high school, if you see someone miss it, you go, oh, that's a tough one to miss. And IQ, who's one of the better 3-point shooters in the Toronto Raptors, end up selling that 3. The Bulls come down, and then they keep chipping away. They keep cutting down on this lead. We keep taking weird shots. RJ Barrett sold a few layups in the lane. Of course, did get fouled on some of those possessions, but it wasn't called. I'm not complaining to the referees. Not stressed about that. Scottie Barnes settling for some very, very weird shots down in the late fourth quarter, but it ended up coming down to Coby White shooting up just a fadeaway 3. Now, it looked like a phantom foul call. I'm not complaining about it whatsoever, but Immanuel Quickley, you don't put yourself in a position where you're going to foul the 3-point shot in an important game. But again, this is an ethical tank. This is a generational move. High IQ. Yeah, that's what we're calling it. A high IQ play by IQ Immanuel Quickley, because he fouled Coby White, who got an and 1-3. So a 4-point play, down by 4 with 6 seconds left. The Bulls got an and 1-3 down by 4 with 6 seconds left. So they ended up tying the game, putting the game into overtime. Scottie Barnes did end up selling a fadeaway shot in the corner, a playoff P-esque shot off the side of the backboard to essentially put it into OT. So, Darko Rajaković just pulling out his hair. I guess deep down he's probably a little bit happy. He's like, okay, guys, we got a better shot out here at Cooper Flag. We're rocking and rolling, but he's being animated out there on the sideline. There's some madness going on, and then of course Lonzo Ball was throwing shots, bricks off the side of a house all game. Just hit a couple threes down the stretch. The Raptors. It was just it was a masterclass in taking a disaster class in actual basketball. And I don't know. The Raptors are up big. this is just kind of the reality of what's happened this season. Should we be concerned of the future? I'm not stressed about this too much, but realistically, what we're hoping for is the maximum lottery odds over the course of the season. And frankly, the New Orleans Pelicans have been getting some wins as of late. Zion Williamson's been, in shape. There's talks about him being locked in and stuff, but, we're right on the tails of the New Orleans Pelicans. And, the Sixers are a team that's losing a bunch of games. The Nets lost a few games. The Bulls were a team that were losing a ton of games, 3-7 of the last 10. But a lot of teams on our tail to try to catch those top 5 lottery odds. The Raptors do have one of the easiest schedules down the stretch of the season. So it's every loss we can get now at this point. It does help because, again, even with it's tough to put together performances like this from the Toronto Raptors against teams as abysmal as the Chicago Bulls. Because frankly, I want to be up front about this. The Bulls are horrible. Watching this game, they're selling layups. They're just not playing defense. We're just missing layups. Like, it was a bad brand of basketball out there at the last stretch of this game. And we'll talk about some of it regard to the Toronto Raptors, but the fact the Raptors were able to pull out this L in this disaster classic game, that was something crazy to witness. It was absolutely wild to witness out here on that front. So I was shocked. Like, I was genuinely baffled by how this team was able to pull out this take, was able to pull out these L's like down the stretch of this one. Absolutely ridiculous that they were able to do that here now at this point. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit just trying to get words for it. But of course, with losses, you get some criticism. And again, I'm not stressed about the outcome or whatever. But the one thing that does concern me a little bit, again, maybe the reliance on the whistle maybe from RJ Barrett down the stretch because he's got to have a little bit more body control to finish those shots. So that's one factor. But Scottie Barnes, we know he's locked in. We know he's taken a few more shots and did knock down 2 of 3 of his 3-point shots. I don't think he had a bad game by any stretch. Defensively didn't look as engaged especially down the stretch of this game as we've seen him in previous outings. But Scottie Barnes, those kind of 1-2 Kobe-esque fades, they aren't really effective right now. They aren't really in his bag now at this point. Now, again, you develop those so you can become that Kawhi Leonard-esque scorer down the stretch of games. So I don't mind him trying out that type of stuff, but I could see where fans might be coming from, saying it's a little bit discouraging that happening. And he did have 2 turnovers. A couple of, one of them was bad, like a bad turnover out there. The fourth, cross-court pass, just a lack of confidence, the game being a little bit too fast for Scottie, or, him trying to move a little bit faster than he probably should have. Not the greatest stuff. Not the greatest look out there from Scottie Barnes in this performance. That's just the reality. That's the only real way to put it. We have to throw the criticism out there when he has been struggling. So that is a reality of what's going on there. There were some intricacies. Lots of guys go down. Like Ochai Agbaji only 1 minute in this game and stuff. But I don't know. This game, if it wasn't for the take-a-thon, I'd be out here very frustrated, very angry. But It is what it is. I'm not stressed about this whatsoever. The bench guys didn't have that much of impact. Of course, Chris Boucher doesn't play. Then you get less of the production you're looking for off the bench. Orlando Robinson randomly hit a clutch 3 in this game, which is pretty crazy to see. Gradey Dick, it might not look like it, but actually had one of his better outings. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Like, he hustled out there, even if he was getting attacked. The other opposing teams, one thing that people are doing, and Darko Rajaković does have to figure this out in terms of the Raptors' defensive schemes, there are a lot of teams just running pick and rolls where, Gradey Dick is the guy that's guarding the screener, so he gets switched on to the Kobe Whites of the world, the Lonzo Balls of the world, and they are Josh Giddey's of the world, and they are just attacking Gradey Dick. And I think he provides effort, I think he provides hustle, but he can't be, he can't be just getting picked apart like a pylon out there on different possessions. That's a part of the reason the Bulls end up going on their run. So that is one thing to factor on the defense end, something Darko Rajaković has to do to protect his young wing out there. But I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not stressed about this game. This is a generational performance, a masterclass for the Toronto Raptors. So let me know what you guys think about this game. Again, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.